Welcome back to English 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Advanced.
Hello and welcome back to the class, to class number 109, the advanced portion of the class. And I'm joined today by Esther. How are you, Esther?
I'm really well, thank you, Kyle. How are you?
Great, great. Are you ready for the advanced class today?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Now, Esther, what's the difference between a bit and quite a bit?
A bit and quite a bit.
Yeah.
A bit is, well, only a little, no much. And quite a bit is more like enough.
Yeah, well, it's, like a bit could be un poco.
Yes.
And quite a bit is bastante.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Do we have just a bit of time left, or do we have quite a bit of time left?
We have quite a bit of time left.
Yeah, we have quite a bit. No problem, Kyle. We have quite a bit of time left.
Yes.
There's plenty of time. We have quite a bit of time left. Yeah. Is Madrid a bit bigger, or quite a bit bigger than Barcelona?
I think it's a bit bigger than Barcelona.
Yeah, it's a bit bigger.
It's a bit, yeah.
I don't think we would say it's quite a bit bigger.
No, not exactly.
It's a bit.
No.
You could also say a little bit. It's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But is it quite a bit bigger than Toledo?
It's quite a bit bigger than Toledo, yes.
Yeah, sure. So who's more famous? Or what about fame? Fame. Let's say me or Bruce Springsteen. Is Bruce Springsteen quite a bit more famous than me, or just a little bit more famous than me?
I'm afraid Springsteen is quite a big famous than you.
Quite a bit. What?
Quite a bit famous.
More famous.
Quite a bit more famous than you.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
afraid.
Yeah. What about playing the guitar? Is he quite a bit better at playing the guitar than me, or just a little bit better?
He's quite a bit better playing the guitar.
At playing the guitar.
At playing the guitar than you.
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. Is Spain a little bit smaller, or quite a bit smaller than Russia?
Spain is quite a bit smaller than Russia.
Sure, yeah. Is Cuba a bit hotter than Finland, or quite a bit hotter than Finland?
It's quite a bit harder than Finland.
Hotter
than Finland. Hotter.
Yeah. Now, am I a bit taller than Richard Brown, or quite a bit taller than him?
No, you are quite a bit. No, just a little. No,
maybe a bit.
A bit.
And I've never asked him how tall he is.
No,
but he's fairly tall.
Yes.
But I think I'm a bit taller than him, though. I think I'm a bit taller than him.
A bit taller than
but
him.
But I wouldn't say I'm quite a bit taller than him. I'd say I'm a bit tall, a little bit taller.
A bit taller.
Maybe an inch.
Maybe.
What about Danny DeVito? Am I quite a bit taller than Danny DeVito?
You are quite a bit taller than Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Is Michael Jordan a bit taller, or quite a bit taller than me?
Michael Jordan is quite a bit taller than you.
Yeah, he is. He's quite a bit taller than me. Sure. Is he just a little bit better at basketball, or quite a bit better at basketball than me?
I think he's quite a bit better at basketball than you. Quite a bit better.
Quite a bit better, yeah.
Quite a bit better than you at basketball.
Absolutely.
Yes.
He's quite a bit better. Yeah, I mean, Michael Jordan, he's better than everybody.
Yes, I think
Almost.
So.
I mean, well, in his prime, he was better than everybody in the world. He was. But now, I'm sure there are players that could beat him now, because he's 40-something, 45.
Yes.
Right? Do you think he could still beat me at basketball?
He could.
Do you think he could still beat me at do you think he could beat me, 45-year-old Michael Jordan versus me?
Yes, I think he could beat you at basketball.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
I'm sure he could, because he's quite a bit better.
Yes.
In fact, he's much better
yes.
than me. Yeah. Probably when he's 80 years old, he could probably still, even if he were 80 years old now, I'm sure he could still beat me at basketball because he's Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Right? Anyhow. Oh, yeah. Is English quite a bit easier or a bit easier than German?
I think English is quite a bit easier than German.
Yeah. At least for me.
Yeah.
For you too?
Yes, for me too.
But you speak a bit of German, don't you?
Yes, a little bit.
But would you say that English is a bit easier?
Yes, English is a bit easier than German.
Okay. But just a bit?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit?
Yes.
Okay. What about Chinese?
No, Chinese I think is quite a bit difficult.
Quite a bit more difficult.
Quite a bit more difficult than English.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although if you were Chinese, then Chinese would be easier.
Easier, yes.
So it depends on your reference, I suppose. Okay, now we can talk about speed. How do you measure speed in your car? You're driving along on the highway, and we say, "How fast are you going?" What do we say?
100 kilometers.
Kilometers
Per hour.
Per hour, yes.
Yes.
Now, 100 kilometers per hour, and we can say he was doing. Or we can say going. Going or doing 100 kilometers. Some people say kilometers. Some people say kilometers per hour. So the police stopped him because he was going. He was traveling 120 kilometers per hour.
Yes.
How fast was he going?
He was going at 120 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, 120. He was going, or he was doing 120. Would you get a ticket? Would you get a ticket, you can say, a speeding ticket, if you were doing 130?
Yes, I would get a ticket if I were doing 130.
Would you get a ticket for doing, I'll change to 4. Would you get a ticket for doing 120 kilometers per hour?
Yes, in some places I would get a ticket for doing 120 kilometers per hour.
Okay, what speed are most drivers doing on the highways? The highways, typical highways between here and Barcelona, let's say.
Maybe more than 130 kilometers.
So you can say, kilometers per hour.
Per hour, yes.
So they're doing, how fast are they going? They're
doing more than 130 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, that's right. Whew. Fast.
Yes.
The highway. I say the highway.
Highway.
British people often say the motorway.
Yeah.
Or we have the freeway.
Freeway.
And we also have interstates. In the United States, interstate, interestado, right? Because they're the highways that go from one state to another.
Yes.
The interstate. And in the United States, they have I, which stands for interstate. They say like I-95 is a famous interstate highway that travels that goes from Maine in the northeastern United States down to Florida, down the East Coast.
Yeah.
I have some relatives there in the New York area, and when I go to visit them, I always drive on the I-95.
On the I-95.
The I-95, and it's a nice highway.
It's a highway, yeah.
It's a nice highway because on the I-95 you can go through. You can start in Maine, which is very beautiful, and you have New Hampshire, which is a beautiful state, Vermont. I think Vermont's on the I-95. I could be wrong, but I think the I-95 goes through Vermont, New Hampshire, and then you go down through Boston, Massachusetts, Boston. You have it down into Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, then New York, and then all the way down, Washington, before that, Washington, D.C., and then down Georgia, Florida, and it's very beautiful. It's a nice drive.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice drive. I enjoy that trip. Yes. Well, anyhow, it is time to move on and take a look at our expression of the day.
Expression of the day.
All right, it is time for the expression of the day. The expression of the day today is to come clean.
Come clean.
Come clean. What do you think this means, Esther?
I don't know exactly.
To come clean means to admit what you've done. You say,
admit what you've done.
What you've done. So you say, you know what? I've come here to come clean. I'd like to come clean. I'm guilty. I did it. I stole your phone, Esther, while you weren't looking. I'd like to come clean. You know, I would like to admit that I did it. It's my fault. So to come clean is to admit to what you have done.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So do you think it's important for criminals to come clean?
For criminals?
Yes. Should they come clean and admit their actions?
No.
No, they shouldn't?
Yes, they should. They should, but I think that they don't mind.
They don't mind. Well, yeah, they don't. They don't.
Yes,
they
don't.
often don't. Sometimes they do.
Yes,
Sometimes
it's true.
they say, you know what, I did it. I'm guilty.
Yes, it's true.
You know, they plead guilty and they admit everything. They come clean.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. Our expression of the day, to come clean. Now, as we move into class number 109, we can talk about no matter how plus adverb, no matter how fast you drive, you won't get there on time because we're running late.
Yes.
No matter how fast you drive, you won't finish on time, for example. No matter how clean it is, they'll still ask me to clean it again.
Yeah.
Right? No matter how much he eats, he'll still be hungry. Yeah. Are you still hungry no matter how much you eat?
No. No.
No. Yeah, no. No, I'm not, Kyle.
No, I'm not.
No, because I think my brother is that way. No matter how much he eats, he still feels hungry.
Yes, and some people, happen the same.
But he's not. Ask me if he's fat.
Is he fat?
No, he's not fat.
No, he's not.
No, he's not fat, but he eats a lot, and no matter how much he eats, he's always ready to eat more. It's incredible. Yeah. Another thing about my brother, well, this was more true with my grandfather. My grandfather never wore shorts. Well, probably your grandfather didn't either. Did your grandfather wear shorts?
I don't know. I never know. No.
You never met him.
Yes.
Yeah, I never met him. Okay. But my grandfather never wore shorts. My grandfather was English. Well, one of my grandfathers. My grandfather was from England and immigrated to Canada when he was 2 years old.
Okay.
And he never wore shorts. He was very, I don't know, classic in his style. But he had his style, let's say. He always wore shorts. Long pants.
Yeah.
And like a working shirt. And just sort of, in the summertime, he used to sit outside his house and just sit there and just talk to people. People would go by and they would talk to him. And sometimes people in the neighborhood would come and ask him his opinion on things.
Yes.
Because he was, experienced and he was quite respected in his neighborhood.
Yes.
And, and he used to he would sit out and talk to neighbors that would come by. And people would come to see him. And yeah. Yeah, and it was my grandfather in eastern Canada. Yeah, and he used to just sort of sit out and do that. And he worked in a coal mine.
A coal mine.
A coal mine, right? Just like in Asturias, you have coal
Yes.
mines, right? So he worked in a coal mine for 47 years.
Yes, a long time.
Long time. And so when he retired, he was ready to relax
Yes.
by that time. And the little piece of land, you see, my great-grandfather came from England. And he came from England and was given a piece of land.
Yeah.
See, a lot of immigrants were offered land and work.
Yes.
So the companies would go to England and they would say, okay, if you come to Canada, we'll give you this big piece of land and a job. So the Englishmen, if they didn't have work, they went to Canada.
Yeah.
And they would live there. And in the end, they were kind of, it wasn't necessarily a great deal because they worked very, very hard.
Very hard.
And the company owned their house.
Yeah.
So they worked, the company owned their house, they bought their groceries in the company store, and they were almost like slaves, but they had their own lifestyle. They had enough to survive and to be okay, but they had to keep working very, very hard.
Very hard.
Yeah. And so my great-grandfather got that land and then he divided it for my grandfather and my great-uncle, and then they divided it. So now that area is still all my relatives when I go there. And my mother's name is Sharp. Her surname is Sharp.
Sharp.
And the street is called Sharp's Lane, which is a lane is like a word for like a small street.
Yeah.
It's called Sharp's Lane. And when I go up there, some of the houses now have been sold to different families, but originally they were all my relatives. My cousins and my different uncles and cousins, and all on this little street. That was the land that my great-grandfather was given when he first came to Canada around 1915 or 1920, something like that. I don't know the exact date, but yeah. Not probably 1920 or so. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, I get distracted talking about things like this. We got to see, before we go, very quickly, our vocabulary of the day.
Vocabulary of the day.
All right, let's take a look quickly at our 5 words of vocabulary. We have producción.
Production.
Production. Oh, yeah. Oh, producción, rendimiento. We could say production, or we could say output.
Output, yeah.
Output, the output of a factory, for
Of a
example.
factory, yes.
Yeah. Cuerda. Soga.
Rope.
Rope. Yeah, rope. Very good. Analizar.
To analyze.
To analyze. Conceder.
To concede.
To concede or do you know the actor Hugh Grant?
A grant.
Grant.
To grant.
To grant. Grant. Yes. Satisfacer.
Satisfacer. To satisfy.
The verb to satisfy.
To satisfy.
To satisfy. All right, very good. Thank you so much, Esther. We are completely out of time.
Yes, I know.
We have a translation list, but we'll take a look at it next time.
Okay.
So thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow at the same time, same place. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.